we'll hear from Eric Gallis, Director of Amazon Web Services Canada, about the launch of AWS in Canada and the benefits it offers to AWS customers and partners. Also, Yahoo is back in the news. There was another hack where data was stolen from more than 1 billion accounts. Welcome to Whirlwind Radio. I'm your host, Marcelo Sugdeo. Do you still have a Yahoo account? If you do, you may want to get rid of it. Here's why. A few months ago, Yahoo revealed that there was a security breach that affected some 500 million accounts. As if that was not bad enough for the struggling company, yesterday, December the 14th, Yahoo made another announcement to say that they believe that an unauthorized third party in August of 2013 stole data of more than 1 billion user accounts. This breach of the 1 billion accounts, according to Yahoo, is likely distinct from the 500 million accounts case that was announced in September. So these were two separate breaches. Now, what information has been affected? Yahoo said that the stolen user account information may have included names, email addresses, telephone numbers, dates of birth, hashed passwords using MD5, and in some cases, encrypted or unencrypted security questions and answers. So, if you have a Yahoo account, please go change your password now or just delete your account. Some of the suggestions from Yahoo are: change your passwords and security questions and answers, review your accounts for suspicious activity, be cautious of any unsolicited communications that ask for your personal information, avoid clicking on links or downloading attachments from suspicious emails, and consider using Yahoo Account Key, a simple authentication tool that eliminates the need to use a password on Yahoo. That perspective was from Yahoo. Let me give you a few comments from security experts regarding this recent disclosure as reported by The Guardian. Bruce Schneider, a cryptologist, one of the world's most respected security experts, said, "Yahoo badly screwed up. They weren't taking security seriously, and that's now very clear. I would have trouble trusting Yahoo going forward." Tyler Moffat, senior threat research analyst at Webroot, said, "All of the data stolen, including emails, passwords, and security questions, make a potent package for identity theft. These accounts have been compromised for years, and the sheer number of them means that they have already been a large source of identity theft. No one should have faith in Yahoo at this point." Another expert, Kevin Cunningham, president and founder of identity firm SailPoint, said, "Think about all of the highly sensitive files that could have been lurking in these breached Yahoo email accounts. Incredibly sensitive tax or financial statements, personal health care data, even banking or credit card information. And hacks like these, according to Cunningham, will likely feature heavily in 2017. So there you have the views of the experts as well. What I find to be really disappointing is that not only did Yahoo fail to prevent these breaches, it also failed to detect the breaches when it happened a few years ago. They came to this knowledge only after being notified by a third party. That left users unknowingly compromised for at least 3 years, vulnerable to identity theft, among many other potential criminal uses of their personal data and passwords. And this, listeners, is totally unacceptable for any company, and more so for a company the size of Yahoo. Jumping from Yahoo, let's go to Google. As we draw closer to the end of 2016, Google, the search giant that handles trillions of search requests every year, released its trending topics for 2016. At the top of the global search list is Pokémon Go. There is no surprise there. This is a game that had taken the world by storm earlier in the year. The iPhone 7 and Donald Trump are the other two most searched topics by internet users worldwide during 2016. Now in Canada, users search for Donald Trump, Pokémon Go, and the Toronto Raptors. Drake also topped the categories of the most searched celebrity, musician, and Canadian. Let's take a look at some of these categories as released by Google. Now on the global scale, this is for searches. Number 1 is Pokémon Go, 2 iPhone 7, 3 Donald Trump, 4 Prince, and 5 Powerball. Consumer tech, 1 iPhone 7, 2 Freedom 251, 3 iPhone SE, 4 the iPhone 6s, and 5 Google Pixel. Here in Canada, for searches, 1 Donald Trump, 2 Pokémon Go, 3 Toronto Raptors, 4 Fort McFire, 5th Prince. On the consumer technology, number 1 is the iPhone 7, 2 Samsung Galaxy S7, 3 the Samsung Galaxy Note 7, 4 Google Pixel, and 5 Nintendo Switch. Any surprises for you? Well, check out my article on IT in Canada for more categories as released by Google. And now we would like to share an interview with Eric Gallis, Director of Amazon Web Services Canada, who spoke to Nestor Arellano about the launch of AWS Canada on December 8th. Here's the clip.
Good afternoon, Eric,
Hey,
and
Nestor.
welcome to the show.
Thanks very much.
Congratulations for the opening of AWS's Central Canada region. Just went live.
Yep.
Just this few hours ago. Could you tell us what actually is a central region, and what does it mean to AWS's expansion of your operations here in Canada?
Yeah, no, thanks, Nestor. It's a great question. It's a really exciting announcement. So, as we often talk about, we're really customer obsessed, and we focus on how we can help our customers. And we've had feedback for a while in Canada that there were certain customers who just weren't able to take advantage of the regions that are available around the world, either because of regulatory requirements, because of sovereignty, because of latency, or just because of policy, or in some cases just emotionally. They feel better about having their data on Canadian soil. So as we took that feedback in, a decision was made, as you can imagine, some time ago, that we would deploy a region here in Canada. And a region is it's a portfolio, a cluster of data centers. They manifest themselves as what we call availability zones. So today we launched a region with 2 availability zones. An availability zone is a discrete set of one or more buildings that allow customers to now use services and store data which is domiciled in Canada. And so what it really does is it now means that there are no customers in Canada that can't take advantage of our AWS services. So it's really exciting for those customers that have had some kind of restriction, as well as for all of our partner ecosystem that's also been advocating this for a while, so they could take services to our customers. And that includes people that you heard from today, like Salesforce. So Salesforce had some similar challenges with customers that weren't able to avail themselves fully. With the advent of putting a region here, Salesforce can deploy on that, and then they can solve for those concerns too.
These are essentially data centers. So where are they located?
The region itself is located in Montreal, so that's where the region is based, and so the data centers that underpin the availability zones in Canada are based out of Montreal. And then we have 2 CloudFront POPs that also we launched actually before the data center. We have a point of presence in Montreal, and we also have a point of presence in Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of disaster recovery issues, it's very important to have these 2 separate data centers that are geographically apart from each other, but not so far as well, right?
Yeah, well, one of the unique pieces of the architecture with AWS is that the regions are built such that you can write applications for continuous availability. So the availability zones themselves are close enough to each other to be able to have synchronous replication, but far enough apart to give you protection from natural disasters, fire, flood, things like that. So the architecture itself provides for an opportunity for customers to build and deploy applications without having to worry about the traditional approach to DR, to have a complete replica of what you have on one site and another site that's 500 miles apart.
Now, Salesforce earlier in their presentation explained why it's important to some of their customers to have data reside within the Canadian borders. What does this mean now that you have the data center here?
Yeah, I mean that's the real big breakthrough. So there have been customers who've been very enthusiastic about using AWS, but because of reasons of either their regulator requires their data to be in Canada, or their internal policies require their data to be in Canada, or perhaps they had applications that were sensitive to latency, that mean that they needed to have their data, their applications closer to their customers. So there are a number of reasons, or in some cases just customers that feel more comfortable with having their data on Canadian source. So with the advent of putting a region in Canada, it means that we can solve all of those customers now. So they no longer need to be concerned. They can have their data in Canada and feel comfortable that it stays here.
And finally, if we could get any message that you would like your partners here in Canada to hear from you about the plans of AWS to.
Yeah, I think really the advent of our region signals just an incredible opportunity for our partners to take AWS services to every customer in Canada, and that we are going to continue to invest locally and aggressively as we go into next year to provide support to our partner ecosystem, whether that's training or certification or help with marketing and working with our sales team. So as we look forward to 2017, our partners can expect a lot of focus on helping them to take advantage of the AWS services and take those to customers in Canada of every type, of every size, coast to coast.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Eric.
Awesome. Thanks.
Have a good day.
That was Eric Gallis, Director of Amazon Web Services Canada, speaking to my colleague Nestor. As we've heard, Canadian customers and partners of AWS can take full advantage of AWS data storage and cloud services now without worrying about data sovereignty issues, because their data can now reside in Canada. And that is a big plus for many. Thanks to Eric Gallis and Nestor Arellano for sharing that interview with us. Thanks to you for taking the time to listen to our podcast. Please check us out on iTunes. We would greatly appreciate if you can leave a comment or give us a rating. From the Whirlwind team, this is Marcelo Sugdeo saying stay safe in the technology whirlwind.